Fuck, why am I laughing? Shit. Fuck. I am so sick and tired of the reuse of storylines we've already seen. There's only so many times I can watch Goku go Super Saiyan before I get bored, man. Now, this is not to say that I don't enjoy playing through it. Trust me, I am a sucker for nostalgic moments in video games. In Metal Gear Solid 2, when you see the silhouette of Raven in the hallway, was tweaked out. The moment in Metal Gear Solid 4 where you get flashes of characters from the older games, same way. And even the photo in Kakarot of Goku and Krillin training on the Roshi, perfect. I love moments like that. But Dragon Ball always does this in every single game almost. From Legacy of Goku to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, there's a recreation of this exact same moment. Now for the first era of video games, it makes sense. First of their kind, let people relive the show again, you know, this, that, and the third. Cool, it makes sense. I shouldn't have to watch that exact scene play out 26-ish years later, but the graphics are cooler. Don't get me wrong, it's a great moment, a phenomenal moment. It's forever gonna be in the annals of anime history and manga history. But I'm tired of singing it. There are compilations on YouTube right now, as of this moment I'm recording this at March 25th. From Legacy of Goku and on, there's like 3 hours worth of footage of this exact scene playing out. I get that there are new people born every day, and in turn, this stuff ages, and some of these games are just lost to time. So newer media is adapted for those trying to get back into it, or, you know, get into it in general, because new people and all that. Hence the desire for remasters, remakes, and ports of said things, and that's fine. But I know personally, I am tired of seeing Krillin die to give Goku a power boost. I love Dragon Ball FighterZ and Raging Blast and Burst Limit, and you get the point. I love me some scrapping with my DBZ, and I need to hold your hand when I say this. Not cause I'm breaking some horrible news that'll make you sad, but that I'm probably just gonna say something that you will not agree with at all. I don't want to see Beginning of Z characters in the games anymore. Not as base roster or else DLC. No Base Coup, no Saiyan Saga Vegeta, no Nappa, no Raditz. I don't want to see characters like that. I know how insane this sounds to anyone with some semblance of sanity. How could I want one of the most popular parts of Dragon Ball history to be unaccounted for in a Dragon Ball fighting game? I understand that, but just hear me out for a second. It's the same thing as my Super Saiyan recreation moment point. We have seen these people for over 20 years. Longer than they were ever in the show in the first place. I am tired of seeing character reveals and it's just bum ass Raditz or Ginyu. I can't tell you how tired I was when I saw Ginyu pop up when Sparking first came out. Side note, Sparking's version of Ginyu is so stupid. Logically, it makes sense that he can't use the supers. He don't got a clue how the person's bodies work. But the lack of not having access to my supers is ass, even in Sparking mode. Fighters would at least let you use the supers, and I'm kind of mad salty that I can't do that in Sparking. Anyways, I can't stand seeing roster slots being used up on characters that get one and done in the span of a couple episodes or chapters. Now I know I said Beginning of Z instead of specifying it. No, I don't want to remove Vegeta, Frieza, Tien, Chaozu, anything like that. I would much rather we just get the current versions of these characters, or if we just had to pull from the past of the series, pull from GT. I love GT despite all of its flaws because it truly has a bunch of cool characters, and clearly Bandai knows that with the addition of them back into Sparking, even though they never should have took them out in the first place. Hint hint, Super 17. Basically the point I'm trying to make is that we should be going forward instead of backwards. I want to see more custom stories instead of redoing plots that I've already seen 5 times, or that if they do redo a plot, it has to be one that we haven't seen in quite a while. OG Dragon Ball hasn't had a game based around it since Game Boy Advance. Sure, there's DLC for Kakarot, but that's only the ending of the Budokai Tenkaichi, not anything before that really. You know how sick it would be to climb Korn's tower, or to actually explore the mountains Goku grew up in? There's so much content in the original series that is left untapped due to how unknown the start of the series is, kinda. See, some people think Dragon Ball started when Goku showed up at the Kame House with Chi-Chi and Gohan, and that's just not the case. In fact, Dragon Ball Z isn't really even a thing. The introduction part of Z is just Dragon Ball continued from after Demon King Piccolo. But it isn't like the rest of the roster of the games ever showcased the humble origins that much either, besides Budokai Tenkaichi's. Other games didn't follow this though, and that is disappointing. I would have loved playing as Tambourine, Mr. Black, Akira, the leader of the Crane School, the other contestants from the Strongest Under the Heavens tournament, but no. I had to see Goldo take a spot up on the roster. Stupid frog face ass slime ball. I truly implore that Bandai gives us more representation that isn't just the beginning of Z. And now this last section is going to be me ranting for a bit. That's basically what this whole video is, but at this point is no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing anymore. I really want ports of the older games to be put on modern hardware. I would really like to play Raging Blast and Burst Limit without digging out my older consoles. Trust me, it don't make sense to port games that won't net a profit necessarily, especially in a time where if a game doesn't have the highest fidelity known to man, it'll get discarded. But companies have started to show that there are an audience for those games. The re-releases of games like DMC Collection, Yakuza Collection, Ninja Gaiden Collection, Kingdom Hearts Final Mix Collection, the story so far, all of these are what I personally have seen have made plenty of fans of their respective franchises. There are reasons no one gets the original copies of these games anymore. These games are too fucking expensive. I can't realistically say that I wouldn't buy a modern Budokai Tenkaichi collection, but $70 for a 20-year-old game is insane. And with the way companies like Nintendo are operating, that's a possibility that is very likely. Examples being Mario 3D All-Star Collection, Skyward Sword on the Switch, having to pay $60 for N64 games and GameCube games, Pokemon Fire Red being $20, even though on the 3DS it was like $10. I really like Dragon Ball games, but it seems like I'll never get the chance to play them until I have to pony up some money. I really shouldn't have to.